Okay, we're gonna get started on our mat on our feet today. Kaylee wants to start on her back. If you have something you can use as a strap, grab it. We have the bands in the studio. If you have a set of bands at home, grab those. I'm gonna give you lots of options. We'll show you how to do it without anything. Kaylee's gonna do the bands, and I'm gonna do how to do it without anything.
Good, because it's probably more confusing to do it without anything.
All right, so let's start on our feet. Just starting to tap your feet. So landing in the room. In this present moment in time, feel your feet, tap your heels. Little soft taps, just kind of feeling your feet.
I know I should be feeling all the parts of my back that are supported by the ground.
Kaylee does not appreciate standing on her feet. See, you should address how that makes you feel and why that's coming up for you.
Because I want to lay down.
So then land on your feet, bend the knees, and roll the weight into the back of the legs and then into the front of the feet. Sorry. Rolling back and forward over the feet, feeling the feet. Maybe even lifting the heels a little, really rolling the weight around on your feet, feeling the whole foot. And then feel the inside edges of your feet roll over to the outside edges. Slowly just feeling your ankles and your feet landing on the ground. Finding your breath. And then landing in a nice solid position. So your feet are solid on the ground. Legs are a tiny bit engaged, about hip width apart. Little engagement in the stomach, soften the lower back. We're going to soften the mid back, soften the shoulders, and maybe bring our hands to prayer. And if it's comfortable, close your eyes for a few moments and really tune inside. Notice if you're gripping the ground with your toes. Notice if you can soften your neck a little more, your shoulders a little more. And I invite you to set an intention for today, not just for on the mat, but one that you might like to carry throughout your day. An intention is a little promise to your innermost self. I'm going to offer a suggestion. I promise to love myself fully so that I may express love for others. Take a moment to think about what that might mean. Giving yourself a little more patience, a little more kindness. Give yourself a little tolerance so that you can learn these behaviors. Oh, begin to move and breathe. So softly floating open your eyes if they're closed. Inhale, arms up overhead. Connect your prayer, bring your prayer down to your heart with the exhale. Inhale, scooping in fresh. Exhale, bringing it down to your heart. And you can stay with this simple inhaling and exhaling, connecting with movement. Or start to make it a little bigger, coming to the balls of your feet as you inhale. Exhale, slowly lowering the heels and sinking the hips into a half chair. Inhale up and exhale down. Try not to lock the knees and try to bring your center of gravity in front of your hips. So really bring your focus into in front of your hips, squeezing the belly. And then bring it all the way up, pray to our hearts. Pause. We're going to step our feet a little bit wider than hip distance, not too much, just a teeny bit wider. Turn the toes out. Plant the legs.
It's too early for Malasana.
I promise we're not going to Malasana yet. So we're going onto the balls of our feet. So lock the legs first. So legs are nice and strong. Bring some attention to the lower stomach. So you're nice and strong in the lower stomach. And we're going to come up, lift the heels. Maybe they just come up a teeny bit. Lift and lower, slow and controlled. And then maybe making the movement bigger with the arms too. Up, inhale up, exhale lower. Slow and controlled. Trying not to lock the knees. So energy moving around the knees, muscles engaged around the knees. And if you feel like you're not sure what that means, bend the knees a lot. And just practice with knees bent a lot first. And then come on out and hold. Engaged legs, arms out wide. We're going to take our hips side to side. This is a tiny, tiny movement. So take your hips a little bit over to the right and then a little bit over to the left. Small movement, starting to feel the inner legs. If you feel like you're grabbing the mat with your feet and pulling it apart, you're going to feel more leg engagement. Take it easy. Feeling the legs. Then lower the heels, tap it out. And then take the feet a little bit wider this time, almost goddess legs. Toes are out, heels are in. Inhale up, star. Exhale, coming down, goddess. Inhale up and exhale down. Arms can raise and lower. Maybe they're getting tired. You can have them at your hips. Make choices.
I'm demonstrating where your hips are in case. Just demonstrating. It's all for the viewers.
Inhale up, exhale down. Bring it down, hold it down. Hands can be wherever your shoulders are comfortable, engaged in the core. Back to lifting the heels one at a time, nice and slow. Right heel up, lower, left heel up. Try to make this movement entirely in the legs. Right heel up and left heel up. And then maybe you can lift and hover both heels, hold. You want to make it more challenging, make the torso heavier by taking the arms out. And little, really tiny pulses of the hips up and down. Tiny movement. Squeezing the core.
Squeeze.
Falling out is part of it. It's how you learn to balance.
Listen.
And then bring your heels down and tap it out. Let the legs wiggle and soften. Tap it out. Bring your feet back on underneath the hips. We're going to bring the weight onto the left leg and bring the right leg up, forward, knee bent, leg engaged. Try not to throw that left hip out. Try and keep the hips nice and solid and centered. I'm going to hold and hover the right leg. Hands can be out for counterbalance. Notice is your leg getting a little heavier? Challenge your balance. And then bring that knee slowly past the left. Right hand maybe reaches for the foot, just opening up the front of the thigh. So not dancer pose, we're just thinking about the front of the thigh. If you can catch the foot, push the foot into the hand. It activates more of the front leg.
I'm all balanced today.
Try not to watch Kaylee because she's flowing around. When you're trying to balance, you're looking for something that's not moving.
Definitely not me.
And then let that foot go. Tap it out. Land on the legs. Weight onto the right leg, squeezing the lower core. Bring that left knee up without throwing the hips out. Lift and hover, hold. Get a little longer in the spine, so get taller. Send the crown of your head up. Legs strong. Notice if one leg feels heavier than the other. One side is a little weaker than the other. Slowly send the knee past the right. Maybe reach for the foot. Stretching front of the leg. You can bend the knee on the right leg. Lower it down, tap it out. And inhale up and swan, dive it down. Touch the ground. Step right foot back, left foot back, high plank, and then straight into a down dog. So find a little movement in your down dog, bending the knees, finding some movement, warming up this pose. And then find the stillness of down dog. Turn your world upside down. Take the tension out of your neck. Find your breath. We're going to move and breathe here. So if you want to challenge yourself, you're going to go from down dog to a high plank. If you want to take this a little smaller, you're going to go from tabletop to child's. So inhaling forward, either tabletop or high plank. Exhaling back, child's or down dog. Try to make this movement come entirely from the core. Engaging your stomach. If you're doing down dog to plank, see if you can feel like somebody has a string on your tailbone and they kind of yank it back to down dog. Connect with your breath. Stay out of your wrists. Maybe change the position of your hands. And then lower the knees and make your way to child's pose. Take a moment to settle in and reset, surrender, find your breath. We're going back to the legs, so coming back to tabletop. I think I'm gonna knock things over facing this way. So come to tabletop, set up, get nice and strong in the arms and chest and stomach. Take the right leg all the way back. And we're gonna take it behind the left. Tap it down. And we're gonna tap A little bit closer to the right hand as if we're making a circle with this leg, tapping it up and down until it can come all the way up towards the right hand. So holding muscles on the leg, not just letting it, and then tap it all the way back. Not just letting it flop around. Finding some muscles in the hip and the leg, squeezing the stomach. Notice if you're compensating by bowing the back, squeeze the stomach. Strong in the stomach. More focus in the leg. Take it all the way back up towards the hand, nice and slow. And then all the way back till it's even with the hip. And then press through the heel, opening up the back of the leg. You can take this in little pulses. You can hold it static, whatever feels good.
My legs are very heavy, don't they? It's hard to lift them when they're over here.
Lower the right knee. Take a little reset. Lift, hover the left. Take it all the way behind the right foot. Tap it down, and then tapping slowly in a big half circle all the way up to the left hand. Squeezing the obliques here to get your foot to come closer to your hand. Then all the way back. Notice any particular angles that seem to be harder. One more time, all the way back to the left hand. See if you can squeeze the glutes a little more, both glutes active. And then all the way back. What? You just speed tapped it. And then press through the heel with the hip. The foot even with the hip. Little pulses or just hold, whichever feels better.
Sit back in. What was I supposed to do? Was I not supposed to tap?
You just did it speed tapped back to where you were. So you're like, I'm done. Lower the right knee. We're going to lift the heel on the right leg with the right knee bent. You're going to take this right hip open to the side. Take a huge circle. Take your foot up to the ceiling. Open the hip to the side. Huge slow circle. Foot to the ceiling. Open the hip to the side, right side. Huge slow circle with the knee.
No, I got it. My body was just spasming.
Foot up, hip to the side. Huge slow circle. Lower the knee. Reset. Foot up, hip to the side, opening up to the left side. Huge slow circle with the knee. Foot up, open, circle. Up, open, circle. Lower the knee. And then take the hips all the way over towards the left heel in a child's pose with a little angle.
Like a spastic windmill.
Who knew this was going to be comedy hour yoga? And then all the way back to tabletop and over to the other side, hips to the right side. Back through center, slowly lower all the way down, crocodile. So find one hand on top of the other, forehead down, and shimmy the hips. Notice what comes up when you go face down. So if you have a strap handy, you're going to wrap it over the right foot here. If you don't, you can also use a towel. You're just going to reach back for the right foot with your hand, using your left hand to kind of balance you. If you feel any tweaks in your lower back, maybe try pushing the hips down a little bit into the ground and softening the glutes. So if you catch the foot, push the foot into the hand. See how that fires up the front of the right leg. And same thing with the strap. Push the foot into the strap. I'll take it back.
The straps are work. If you know how to use a strap, you use the strap. Apparently, I don't know how to use the strap.
All right. So making the towel can make this a little bit easier for you to bring your upper body down using the towel or the strap to push your foot in. So really resist the pull of your foot with your arm. And then slowly unravel the foot, release the foot, and switch sides. So wrapping the strap or towel around left foot. And then bringing the upper body down, pressing the foot into the strap or your hand.
Well, maybe that was what
So really resisting the pull of your hand, pushing your foot into the strap, pushing your foot into your hand. And then let that go. Bring the feet down. Shimmy the hips. Take a moment to reset. And then we're going to lift and hover the feet a teeny tiny bit off the ground, just a little bit. So get long in the legs, really strong. Lower back engaged, lower core engaged, legs are engaged. And then we're going to take our toes out, nice and slow. So wide, 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 as slow as you can go, going out. And then when you get to about as wide as they can go, hold and hover. Again, we're not trying to lift our feet high, we're just holding them nice and low. Hold and hover. Notice any compensation patterns. Maybe you brought some tension into your face or your neck, your upper back. Notice, try to soften. And then we're going to lift one heel up at a time and back. So little 1, 2 side lifts. One heel up, back, the other heel up. One at a time. Feet are strong, legs are active. And then both heels up and down, little small pulses. This is not a big movement, little small pulses. And then slowly bring your pulses in towards hip width apart. And then let your feet drop. Take a wiggle of the hips, shimmy, let everything soften. Take the left arm out straight from the shoulder. Take the right leg up off the ground and then the left hand. Lift it and feel like somebody pulled your arm and pulled your foot and made you longer. Stretch and hold. And switch sides, right arm long, left leg up, stretch and hold. Lower that down, hands underneath, shoulders engage, push back to child's pose. Find a child's, reset. Come on back to tabletop. And focus a little on the shoulders. So bringing your hands a little bit wider than shoulder width. Engage, so push into the ground with your arms. as if you're trying to push your hands away from you, but not letting them move on the mat. We're going to be nice and strong and engaged. We're going to take the weight into the right arm and lift the left arm up. A little twist here. So twisting from the rib cage, reaching up. Place the left hand down, really strong and engaged. Reach the right arm up. So strong and engaged here. Try and do this slow, switching side to sides. Nice, slow opening. Inhale as you open. Exhale as you come back to center. Inhale, open. Exhale, center. Land the right hand, lift the left hand up, reach and hold. Locking the legs, so press the knees down into the ground and then feel like you're pulling them apart. Lock the legs, lock the core, thread the left hand underneath the right arm. So we're going to now engage the core and push that left arm away. You're moving through the shoulders, so draw the shoulders back to neutral and then through, push away. So you're really moving through this right shoulder. Make sure that the muscles are engaged as you do this movement. Make it small until you're sure you're strong. Switch sides, plant the left hand, get set up really strong in your base still. Your legs are still engaged. Reach right arm up. Push it through underneath the left hand, left arm. And pull back, push through, nice and slow and with control. No floppy shoulders. Bring it back so hands are in front of the shoulders and lower the forearms down. Engage the forearms and pull the hands apart, arms engaged, and then send the shoulders down towards the ground and take the tension out of the head if you have to rest it on an arm. And catch your breath. Maybe enjoy a little bit of movement in the arms or hold it steady. Lift up the upper body, not too high, so not fully in tabletop. Left hand stays engaged on the ground. Take the right hand back towards the hip. Place the right hand down and then push between the hands. So opening up, maybe taking some movement here, finding whether you feel the stretch more in your shoulders or in the mid-back. Find the place that feels like it's the right spot for you to be in right now. Engage. Take the tension out of your neck. And then slowly switch sides. Right arm forward. Left hand comes towards the hip. Push into the hands so the arms are really strong, and then find some movement in the shoulders and through the muscles in the upper back, mid-back. Did you find a spot? You had a happy face on. Sometimes you find that part in your back where you're like, okay, that's it. And then back to down dog. Find your breath in down dog. Maybe return to your vow, your little promise to yourself. Bend the knees, look towards the hands, step the right foot outside the right hand, step the left foot outside the left hand. Toes are going to point out. Take some movement. We're coming down to Malasana.
Absolutely not.
So we can have a legs class without Malasana. If you have a block, you can use a block to put a little weight on, take a little weight out of your hips. So one of the things we often do when we come into squat pose is we sink all the way down to wherever we can hang out. We take all the strength out. So then we're just kind of hanging out in the joints. So that's not what we're doing. Not today. We're going to actively sit in Malasana. So strong legs. So find that place where you can hold some strength around the hips, around the knees, around the ankles, and then find a little movement. We can't have strong legs class without having Malasana. Sorry. So one of the core ways to get really flexible in the hamstrings is to get strong in the hamstrings. So we're going to press into the heels. Inhale as we come all the way up. Exhale as we lower. Really active in the back of the legs as you rise. And you can start to take this as big or as small as you like. If you want to build up on this, you're going to cross the body. So come on up, tap right leg across. Come on up, tap left leg across. So nice and slow and controlled in the legs. Keely's throwing a Malasana tantrum.
Didn't mean to be that aggressive. So taking it out.
If you want to make it even bigger, you're going to bring your arms into play. Crossing the body with the arms also. You can do it. And then bring it back to neutral. Tap the legs. See, this is all just to get you to tap your legs. Everybody taps their legs more once we work them.
I walk around tapping my legs if it means that I'll have to walk.
So, the position that we were doing in tabletop with our leg, we're now going to do standing. So feet underneath hips, bring the weight onto the right leg. Bring the left leg forward. You can have your hands on your hips, you can have them out. We're going to tap it around in a huge half circle. Little bend in the standing leg. Take it all the way behind you, as far as it'll go, and then all the way back. Nice and slow. And one more time. Take the tension out of the low back and the shoulders. Squeeze the core to keep you balanced. And switch sides. Tap it out. Weight onto the left leg. Right leg forward. Tap it around. And all the way back. One more time, all the way back. Nice and strong in the legs, strong in the hips. Soft in the face, smile. And then tap it out. Connect with our breath. So inhaling up. Bring your prayer down to our heart. Inhale, scoop and fresh. Exhale, draw it down to our hearts. Little bit more leg work. And then we'll bring it on down. So if you have the band, you're going to bring the band around your legs. You do not have to use the band. If you don't have a band, I'm going to tell you how to just engage your legs. So stretch the band, not till it's tight, but just get it active. We're going to do that same thing that we did at the start of class. So get a little movement in your legs so you can feel your feet. Push into your feet. So you're really feeling like you're pushing them away from you. That activates the legs. Squeeze the lower core. And we're going to lift and hover the heels, pushing into the band. So holding here. Little lowers of the heels, but not all the way down. So little tiny pulses of the heels while pushing into the band.
Keep looking at you.
If you're feeling strong and balanced, engage the core. Bring the arms up. And then you're going to bring it either heels to a hover or just pushing into the bands or pulling your feet apart. We're going to take our torso, bring our right shoulder towards our left knee, nice and slow and controlled. So trying to just move without falling, heels lifted. And notice how you might start to use the inner thigh to balance as you turn. That's a good thing. Slow and with control. Okay, let it go. My legs, my inner thighs are killing me. Tap it out. So, teeny tiny change to a movement can make such a dramatic difference. Notice. Bring the ball of the right foot down like you're stepping in stilettos. Press into the foot, fire up the arch. So pull the leg back up. Turn the toes of the right foot under. Land them on the ground. Pull them forward. Tap it out. Ball of the left foot down. Press into the ground, then pull back up. Find the arch of your foot. Tuck the toes under. And then making sure that your band is handy, we're going to go on down to the ground. So inhale up, exhale, swan dive it down. Left foot back.
We're not.
Right foot back.
So exciting.
Challenge yourself and hold a plank or even a forearm plank. See where you're at today. Maybe you're just straight and chest pose. Long and strong. Lower the knees. Send the torso up. Do a teeny bit of core work.
Your side on. Stretchy, then
So leaning back, just to have space. So strong core, don't land on the tailbone. Toes come to a hover. We're going to bring the toes up and then out. So in and out, little hover, squeeze the core. Make sure that this is strong. And you're not just throwing your legs, they should be strong and active too.
Video looks good.
Huh?
Video looks good.
We'll see.
Haven't pooped out yet.
And then bring it on down to your back. Having your strap or band handy. We're going into the stretchy part. So all the strong is done. Land on your back. Take out any of the wriggles you need. Take out the wriggles for your lower back. Get your hips comfortable on the ground. Take out the wriggles for your neck. Make sure you're not pushing your neck back. Finding your strap. You're going to wrap it around left foot. Your strap, your towel. If you want, you can just hold your shin. You have it around the left foot. It's nice to be able to push the left foot into the strap. It's a little feedback. Finding that position where your hips are solid on the ground. I like to keep my hand on my hips so that I know they're solid there. And then find a little movement in the leg. Just finding where your leg feels the stretch, feels the opening. Maybe pushing the ball of the foot more to the ceiling and pulling the toes back towards the shin. See how that changes which muscles you're using. Lower the right heel slowly back towards the ground. Hold it here. And then we're going to open the right foot over towards the right side. And you can allow the left knee to open. Try not to let the left hip pop up off the ground. So find that point where you feel a nice opening on your right leg.
Did we switch legs?
I don't know, maybe. No, we didn't switch legs, but I'm pretty sure I said one leg and I did the other and then switched in the way. Who knows?
Okay.
Figure it out. We're on one leg right now, and then we'll do the other side. Doesn't matter which one you're doing. Breathe. Slowly bring that right leg back through center. Switch grip with the hand, so the opposite hand grips, and allow that foot to come across the body towards the other side. You can let the hip pop a little off the ground. We're just looking for opening across the outside of the hip. If you really would like to give yourself a little self-massage, you can take fist, top of the fist, tap it across the hip and down the leg. And then lower the foot. Take a little side shuffle of the legs and knees, just noticing left and right sides. Bring the soles of the feet together and allow the hips to open. Hands on the hips, grounding the hips. And just notice left and right sides. It's not looking. How do they feel? I don't care how they look. How do they feel? It's all about having an internal experience. Bring your,
I think my right one might be a little lower, which is weird because I did the left leg.
bring your left foot into the strap or hold on to the left leg. Find the opening on the back of the leg. So pressing into the strap of the foot, drawing the leg closer to or further away, just noticing where you feel is the right position for you today.
Whatever leg you didn't do the first time.
Yeah, just switch sides, whichever leg you didn't already do. Slowly bring the heel towards the ground. Keeping an eye on that right hip. Allow the left, keeping an eye on the hip, the other hip. Let the leg come open and the other knee can flop open too. Just trying to keep the hips grounded. so that we take all of this movement into the legs and we're aware of what the lower back is doing.
Oh, I'm gonna pull my leg up here.
Slowly bring the leg back through center, switch the grip, other hand, and allow it to come across the body a little, just until you feel opening on the outside of the hip, maybe taking the fist, little taps around the hip. Slowly release the foot. And bring the knees in, both knees in. Give yourself a little hug. Lower the feet. Take the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to fall out. Maybe hands on hips, and just notice how the legs feel. Take the feet and legs long, arms up overhead. Stretch from the fingertips to the toes. Take the feet all the way over to the left. And then take the shoulders over to the left, making a big banana on the ground. Slowly slide through center and over to the other side. Feet go over to the right, shoulders over to the right. Slowly bring the body back to neutral, feet to the ground, knees up. Take the right heel and cross it underneath the left knee. You're going to lift the toes on the left leg and press into the heel, making the hips super grounded. Then press the left knee away from you. Press into the heel.
I know, I just realized I forgot to do something.
And then slowly draw the left knee towards your chest. You can grab onto the left thigh. You can lift the left leg towards the ceiling. Maybe take a circle with the ankle on the left leg. And then reverse the circle. Slowly unravel. Right heel comes down. Take a little shimmy. And then left heel underneath right knee. Lift the toes on the right foot and press into the heel. Press the left knee away from you. Make it as strong and active first. And then slowly draw the right knee towards you, maybe grabbing the right thigh. You can lift the right leg, take some circles with the right ankle. And slowly unravel. Take the feet about mat width with the knees up, hands on hips. Slowly allow the knees to come to the right. And then slowly all the way over to the left. And take a couple of shuffles. Trying to feel all the angles. Letting go. And then either finding your way to full Shavasana, legs going all the way down to the end of your mat, or if you have props and you would like to sit in with your feet in butterfly, your legs in butterfly, so your soles of your feet come together. However, if you are doing this pose, we are looking for restorative, we're not looking for stretch now. So once you find the pose, you're not looking to stretch, you're looking to be open and vulnerable in the hips, not stretching. So you want to find where you're at with your knees and then prop them about a centimeter or two higher. So not propping to your fullest extension and getting some amazing yogi opening. We're just opening in a restorative and kind way. I'm going to prop Kaylee so you can see. Naturally, her knees almost come to the ground. So we're going to make sure that we prop up. So finding your way into your final resting pose. Even if you're not focusing on your hips open right now, we're going to meditate on our hips. We need long, strong legs. So one of the ways that we can open and feel more vulnerable is to feel strong. So if we feel like we're really, really, really strong, it's much easier for us to open up. So whatever we do physically often translates emotionally in our bodies. So beginning to feel your hips on the ground. Perhaps even taking a moment to say to yourself right here in this moment, all of my needs are met. Our hips are our base, our sense of home, our sense of security. And for many of us, our sense of home can be transient, can be not secure. But we can focus on making moments in time to find security in our own bodies in a moment in time. And like building blocks, we can build on those moments of security. And the more that we find moments that we feel secure and sound and at home, the more we have to build upon. So finding our hips, finding our base, finding our breath, and really finding sensation in our hips and our base and looking for those places where we are gripping. Maybe we're gripping in the lower back in protection. Maybe we're holding on to the thighs. Maybe across the stomach in the front of the hips. Maybe we have opened our hips and we feel nice and open and safe and secure, but we've brought some tension somewhere else. Maybe we have some tension in around the neck or the jaw or the face. So really body scanning, becoming entirely aware of present moment, this physical body. And whenever we find that gripping, rather than finding it and beating against it as if we're bashing our head against a wall, finding it and softening into it, observing it, maybe even asking what you need, as if you would to a dear friend. Seeing a friend suffering, you would come up to them and you would ask them, what is it that you need? What can I do for you? And give yourself some of this open, loving kindness, non judgmental kindness. Take a few moments being grateful for your breath, observing it, rolling in, bringing in fresh, and rolling out and sweeping away things no longer needed. And then soften focus of even your breath. And today I'm going to read from the Radiant Sutra. Feel free to tune me out if you're in a good place. As I read this passage, it's devoted to another person. And I invite you to perhaps think of giving yourself this devotion. See if you can imagine loving yourself in this way. Be wildly devoted to someone or something. Cherish every perception. At the same time, forget about control. Allow the beloved to be themselves and to change. Passion and compassion, holding and letting go. This ache in your heart is holy. Accept it as the rise of intimacy with life's secret ways. Devotion is the divine screaming through you from that place in you before time. Love's energy flows through your body, toward a body, and into eternity again. Surrender to this current of devotion and become one with the body of love. We are all deserving of this love. You are deserving of this love. We are all deserving of this pure and non-judgmental love. Slowly draw yourself back to present moment and back to this physical body. Imagine wrapping yourself in a little blanket of protection and love and curling up in a little ball in the fetal position. And take as much time as you need to ground down and prepare for going back out into the world. We're coming right up on 60 minutes, so if you have something you need to do, it's time to get ready to go. Otherwise, take some more time, land in a fetal position, and try to end your practice in familiar patterns and rituals, bringing your hands to meet in front of your heart. This gesture of bringing our left and right sides to meet in front of our hearts, as if accepting ourselves as whole and complete exactly as we are. Accepting our darkness, accepting our light, accepting our mistakes, accepting the ones we are yet to make, and accepting our creativity, our passion, and also the things that we're talented at, without shame. Just loving acceptance of who we are in this moment in time. May we radiate self-love so that we can give it out to others. This kind, non-judgmental, compassionate love. Thank you so much for sharing with us today.